Welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing the second of the Six Nations matches that took place last weekend between Scotland and England. A fixture which is always filled with so much pride, rivalry and passion. Of recent years it's gone the way of the Scots, and the Calcutta Cup did not exchange hands this weekend. A difficult one to watch from an English point of view. To say I'm frustrated would definitely be an understatement. England started off so well with a try from George Furbank and sort of shocked the Scots early on with some really good blitz defence. The high risk strategy that's been implemented of recent weeks was actually yielding some good results, but it was short-lived, I have to say, from an English point of view, before the Scots replied with a Duhan van der Merwe try, one of 3 tries that he scored in this game. A player which has got an absolute sort of knack of scoring against England. He can't do enough of it. I think what's that now? 5 tries in 2 games against England, as Duhan really creeps up upon the all-time Scottish try-scoring record, and a really brilliant player for them. And against England, he's twice the player. Lots of fantasy points I missed out on the Fantasy Six Nations app, which I could have had with Duhan van der Merwe. But I was expecting it to be quite a tight game for large parts, but it was actually quite open and quite expansive. I think you often find with the high-risk blitz defence of England that does actually leave the door open sometimes for Scotland, and it can actually yield some good results for England, in which the first try from George Furbank sort of came from that blitz defence. I thought Scotland really scored most of their tries and won the game off of their counter-attack. Now, counter-attack doesn't just come from sort of good handling skills on spotting the space, something in which Finn Russell is just an expert at, but it actually comes from some good defence. I think England, from deep in their own half, were guilty of overplaying a little bit, and that sort of fell into the Scottish hands of being able to score the points from Duhan van der Merwe, and the penalties from Finn Russell, who was absolutely superb off the kicking tee, 100% in the Six Nations, I believe. Those sort of stats are the sort of things which take your team from a decent international team to one of the best in the world. And if Scotland are going to go on that trajectory to be one of the best, they need a player kicking their goals like Finn Russell, and he did that expertly well in this game. In terms of what the Scots did well, other than the counter-attack, their ability to find the space in their vision, mainly through their main man Finn Russell, was brilliant. I mean, although Sione Tuipulotu did go off early, he's actually got a very good vision for space, and they managed to get the ball to where it needed to be quite well in the game. And the sort of red zone efficiency of Scotland, the ability to turn pressure and field position into points, was something which really let them down against France. They had multiple times where they could have taken 3 or been a bit more clinical and scored, and they really did well at this in this game. Kept the scoreboard ticking. As you can see from the half-time and full-time score, a reasonably even distribution of points throughout the game. Really kept England at arm's length. And when Finn Smith missed the conversion late in the second half to go within within sort of 7-8 points, England could have drew the game, but he pushed it wide. And from that point on, you felt Scotland were going to cruise to a victory. The one negative point for Scotland that I really identified was the scrum. I thought especially Ellis Genge was really getting some good results from scrum time, something which I didn't quite expect really going away to Murrayfield. The Scots are very good at scrum time, so that was a little win for England, but ultimately didn't matter in the long run. For England, I thought they defended. To say they defended well is a bit of a weird statement, because the multi-phase defence was good in my opinion, but it was the looseness of the ball which really cost us. Off the set play, Scotland sliced us straight through the middle. I think it was, I think Ollie Lawrence, or there was a centre partnership with the inclusion of George Furbank from fullback, I believe, in which we just simply took the wrong man and left a massive hole throughout the middle of the defence. Duhan van der Merwe is on hand to take the offload, and he goes in. So that was a bit frustrating from an English point of view, especially after such a positive start, and they went in. Discipline for England was a massive problem once again. Whenever England lose, there's a sort of reoccurring theme of poor discipline, which cost them in the game. And then the biggest thing, probably the handling. I don't know what the English sort of were rubbing on their hands, whether it was sort of oil or something, because they couldn't catch a cold for huge periods of the game. You know, even looking off of kickoff, a ball goes up, George Martin stood there. Literally, the one thing you're supposed to do, told not to do when catching a rugby ball, is stand face on with your hands in the air, because you're basically just trying to catch it, with very limited range of motion. So we sort of gave away a knock on there. I promise this is a cough and not me getting emotional about the game, although I didn't feel too good after the game, I have to say. So yeah, the basic handling errors from the likes of George Martin when he came on, the handling errors of Ollie Lawrence was a real liability in the midfield, really stopped England from building the pressure. A couple loose passes from Ollie Lawrence was really quite frustrating. There's a lot of hype around Ollie Lawrence before the game, brilliant form at Bath, but he couldn't translate it to the international field. Now, I'm not calling for sort of drastic changes. I'm not that cutthroat. One bad game doesn't make you a bad player, but it was a very poor performance from Ollie Lawrence. Obviously, he's come off of injury, so you have to have a little bit of sort of care around that, and you can't go in too hard because very difficult coming into a cauldron like Murrayfield after being injured, but was disappointed with his performance. I thought the mindset from England, if I had to pin my mind on one thing which really frustrated me, was the mindset. Now, what English team or what team in general, when they're 2 scores down, you need to score 2 tries or a penalty and a try to win the match. In the 76th minute, box kicks. What's the thought process behind that? Apologies. I just didn't really understand it. Ben Spence is a remarkable player. Really liked him when he played for Saracens. Has done great things at Bath, but I just don't understand the sort of thought process for box kicking the ball deep into Scottish hands with 3 to 4 minutes left on the clock. I wanted to see England throw the kitchen sink at it. I wanted to see England go, right, we're going to go out with a fight. But instead, they just box kicked. I just don't quite understand it. I know there's sort of vulnerabilities of overplaying, but when the clock's basically up, what's the point of kicking the ball away? We might as well fight till the end. And I don't think England really did that. I thought the off-the-ball work rate in attack from England was very limited. I thought it was quite stagnant for a lot of the game. However, there was good performances in the English team. I thought Ethan Roots was really solid and has given the extra bit of power England need in the back row. However, I do think in attack we need more options. We need more attacking intent. We need more want to carry the ball, and that wasn't quite there in this game. Obviously, the English tries, I said, came from Furbank, and then the last one was from Emmanuel Faye-Waboso, showing what an agile and really fast English winger can do. I wouldn't say that on the left wing of Daly. I don't think he's particularly sort of as electric as Faye-Waboso. And on the right wing, I don't see masses of sort of strength in playing who we are there. We've sort of had Johnny May, we've had Elliot Daly as the wingers. We need some fresh blood coming through, and I think Emmanuel Faye-Waboso has definitely put his hand up to be that next player. In terms of the performances throughout the game, the key standout 3 for Scotland were Russell, Duhan van der Merwe and Dempsey. I thought Dempsey's ball carrying went unnoticed for large parts of the game. Some really good stuff from him. And then for England, it's always going to be Ben Earl that's on the list for good performances, as well as Sam Underhill in there as well. In terms of the result, Scotland will be very pleased. They probably would have liked a bonus point considering how well they played, and will enable them to put a little bit of pressure on Ireland at the top of the table. And how different things would be for Scottish fans if the try was given against France, which meant they would have won it. But from England's point of view, there's a couple things you can take out the game in terms of positives, in terms of the start and the attacking from the scrum in the first half. But to go 70 minutes from England without a try, it really did sort of kill the momentum in their performance. And has there been progress from England over the last sort of since the World Cup? Have we been playing too limited of a game to improve and develop as a squad? Those are the questions that need to be answered. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I just want to say a massive congratulations to Scotland. As an English person, you've definitely got our number, and your team is greatly improved from the one of 5-6 years ago. And you're in a very good place. So fair play to you and the squad of players which Gregor Townsend has. And that concludes my thoughts for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Where do England go from here? Do we need drastic change, or are you seeing enough improvement to warrant the same team going out next weekend? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.